Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to thank everybody for coming out to this episode of Chill with Jim. I am your host, Jim McCarthy. Um, with Chill with Jim, it's always business up top and pajamas at the bottom. So I hope all of you are uh, joining me with your pajama bottoms on.
Is
So
that going to hold through when we go back into the office? Are you going to wear?
I don't know. It's kind of become the calling, like the main thing here. So I'm not sure how the tech park's gonna feel about me wearing pajama bottoms.
Only one way to find out.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. uh, I hope to keep it going, even if it just means me swapping over at the office. That should be fine. I'll
Yeah.
lock the door when I change. So.
There you go.
My job at Strix, Louisiana, I am the client advocate. And what this entails is keeping all of our clients on the best software, the best equipment, and making sure they have the best IT solutions in place. David is with us. If you want to go ahead and introduce yourself as well.
Yeah, I'm David Diorman. I'm the owner and founder of Strix, Louisiana, and so it's my role really to make sure that we find the best tools that I can then hand it off to the employees here at Strix LA to make sure that our clients are well taken care of. So that's kind of my job in a nutshell.
And David, how long has Strix been in business? When did you start?
Since 2008. So October of 2008 is when we got started.
Awesome. So some industry proven solutions we have in place. Just about 12 years now. We'll have Candace joining us as well soon here. She's
Yeah, she was
heavily
on the line.
involved
She
in
dropped
our
off. I don't know what happened.
she's heavily involved in our community outreach programs. She helps us stay organized and keeps David and I in line when we start to get out of line. So at Strix, we believe there's always a better, simpler way of doing things. And so what this means is that we're going to constantly be searching for the best way, the best solution. We're going to be adapting and evolving our techniques to make sure that all of our clients have the best IT solution in place. And especially in the last, 4-5 years, we've been concentrating on cybersecurity and keeping all of our clients protected. Some of this responsibility we feel we have an educational responsibility to help teach our clients about the current resources they have in place, how to use them, as well as keep them up to date with any IT news that's out there, IT trends, or any security issues that are happening in the world today. So that's really why we designed this Chill with Jim session, but it is for anybody who is able to join us. We really like to be a solution provider for our community. Local community is really where we love to shine. But what's great about these Zoom calls is we can reach out to anyone who's looking to kind of learn something about our topic. Today, our topic is multi-factor authentication, which is just another step or another layer to help keep the bad guys out. So, we all use passwords for pretty much everything we do day to day. So that means our software, our computer logins, social media, along with any service that you have in place, you're going to have a password. When this first started, passwords were a great way to keep the criminals out. As the bad guys kind of evolved their attack vectors, what we started to do is we started to make our passwords more complex. So this was a good way to stop them from getting in. We were making extremely long, difficult passwords to remember, which brought in the need for a password manager. So the password manager just kind of helps you keep all of that information straight. And these days, we're finding that you actually have to take another step, and that is to implement what's called a multi-factor authentication. Um, so this is basically a second step to add identity verification to all of your accounts. Uh, the problem with passwords can be that all it takes is one successful phishing email, or let's say you have your password with another company like Gmail, and Gmail gets their data breached. Well, now your password is in the hands of the criminal world, and so it's very easy for them to get into your accounts. Um, and so what MFA does is it uses something that you know, like your password, and it couples it with something that you have, a unique device, maybe your smartphone, or you can actually set it up with your fingerprint. The most common way that, and I'm going to call it MFA, which is multi-factor authentication. Just going to abbreviate it so I don't have to say that big, long two words together all the time. But the most common MFA systems, what they're going to do is they're going to send you a unique code. This is a one-time code that's associated with your account. It's typically generated by an application. Um, it's tied in with your smartphone, or some of them, what they'll use is like a text message. They'll text message you a unique code for you to then get into your account after you put your password in. And then actually what they've come out with somewhat recently is they've come out with MFA forms where you can use an application just to go ahead and hit OK, it's me, maybe your fingerprint, hey, it's me, and this will let you in automatically, and it kind of takes away from the hassle of typing in a code or getting a text message. The text message we're finding to be less secure, so we recommend using an application to go ahead and verify that it's you, to give you access to all of your accounts. Right now, we're looking at about 95% of data breaches are happening because of a password being leaked. So multi-factor authentication is really the most effective method in preventing the bad guys from getting your information or from getting into your systems. And we have a little graphic that just kind of shows a little bit better visually what I'm talking about here. I'm going to pull up for everybody. So as you can see here on the left, so you're still going to enter your password like normal. So you want to get into your email account. So you use your username, password. What's going to happen then is a code or another verification is going to be coming to a device that you qualify. So most of the time people are using their phones. And it's going to say, hey, you know, Janet, is this really you? Are you really trying to get into your Gmail account right now? And you can hit yes, or it might give you a code that you then type in, and boom, you have access to your accounts. So that's a little visual to kind of help explain how you're going to get in, what it looks like. You know, when we talk about the applications that give you access pretty easily by just hitting yes or maybe using your fingerprint, we've had users and clients kind of get a little overwhelmed with having a code sent to them and then having to retype the code. So we really have, and at Strix, it's actually what we use is we've gone the application route where we can go ahead and authenticate through one of these applications that, hey, it's really Jim. Actually trying to access my email, and it gives you a safe, secure way to get in. And so that's just some of the information on multi-factor authentication, basically how it works and why it's needed in the industry today. And David, when, as a new multi-factor authentication user, uh, what are some of the steps that I'm going to need to take within these applications to set them up? Is it an easy setup? Is it just simply adding my account? What does that look like from the end of the user's end?
Yeah, I would say it's gotten fairly easy now because so many services are using it, and generally there's a toggle switch somewhere, and I mean just a checkbox or but it will be somewhere on your account. So let's say you're doing Facebook, you somewhere on the account for Facebook on your information, there will be a switch or a checkbox or a link or something that says two-factor authentication, and you'll click on it, and generally what they do is they'll pop up with a QR code. So the QR code it's kind of like a barcode, but it's square and it's got blocks all throughout it, and it will pop up with that QR code. Generally, you use just your phone, and you have the app, the multi-factor authentication app on your phone. You use the camera, you take a picture of the QR code, and it links your phone, the application on your phone, with your account. And so generally, it's fairly simple. It used to be more difficult. So the original two-factor authentication that I remember seeing was with bank accounts, and it was very often with business bank accounts, but they would send you a key fob, and it's this little device that you carry around with you, and every 60 seconds or so it would reset the number. And so when you're logging in, you have to enter that number that's on the key fob. Those were difficult to set up because you had to call the bank, you had to fill out the application, then they had to ship that device to you. You had to activate it. That was pretty difficult. Today, it's gotten very streamlined, and you can use multiple applications for your two-factor authentication. Jim mentioned we use an application. Our password manager actually has two-factor authentication built into it, which helps a whole lot because when we go to log on to a site, it will fill in our password for us. That comes from the password manager, and then it will also fill in that two-factor authentication token. So the companies that provide two-factor authentication and the companies that are utilizing two-factor authentication for your account, they've made it very easy, very seamless.
Thank you, David. And here's a little look at so if I'm going to log into, at Strix, we have so many different products that we use to help keep our clients safe. So if I'm going to go ahead and log in, here's an example of one of the applications we use. So if I need to get in, what this does is it's going to provide a access code. So after I put my username and password in, I have to type these 6 numbers. And what's great about this app is that the numbers, they regenerate a random number every 30 seconds. So if I miss my window, I get another opportunity to put it in, but also with
So
a
it
text
doesn't like
message,
shock
the
you through the
problem can,
mouse or anything?
it actually shocks me for saying, no,
I
no
think
shocking.
for,
David, you have yet to put that in, I think, so. But wow, way to get me off track
That's
there a little
funny.
bit.
sorry, you were on a roll, and I just wanted to ruin it.
um, so yeah, with the, like I was saying, with the texting. So if, let's say I'm trying to get into my bank account and they text me a number, hey, you have to use this number to get in. That text is going to sit there a while. That number is going to be active for quite a while. So that leaves you open to more breaches, the possibility of more breaches. So, maybe someone's at your office and they know your password, and they know all they have to do is quick get your phone. Your text message might even still be on the front page, and then boom, they get access. So
Yeah.
That's why we've been pointing people away from the text message option.
Yeah, that's an interesting one because those and what I've seen now is a lot of the text messages that come through, they'll have additional information and the code won't be on that first screen that normally pops up on your phone. They'll hide it a little bit further down, so you actually have to open your phone, which usually you your phone, you really want to have some sort of passcode on it so that not anyone can just open it. And the other thing with SMS, with text messages, they're called also SMS messages. Um, your phone is actually fairly easy for a criminal to spoof or to watch the traffic going back and forth from your phone. So we certainly recommend that you use these applications that Jim was talking about, because getting a text message off of somebody's phone, unfortunately, is not that difficult with the current technology. If you're being targeted, now is that a problem for the average user? Not necessarily, but if you happen to be targeted in any way, it's really not difficult to get an SMS message or a text message from somebody's phone account.
Yep. Yeah, they're more and more intuitive. They're finding more and more ways to get in. It's it's this cat and mouse game where we figure out how they got in and we stop it, and then 2 weeks later they come up with a new way to get in. And so, when I talked at the beginning about us constantly, advancing our solutions, our IT solutions, that's one of the reasons, because as soon as you get the bad guys out, they seem to find a way. Like in Jurassic Park, life always finds a way. The bad guys will always find a way. And just so for me, for me at work, I have my Strix email. We have our remote software. These are all the things I log into. So our antivirus software. Um, we have some email phishing software. So all of these, I need my password to get in, and actually all of these we use the multi-factor authentication with, because as a IT provider, we're actually targeted pretty heavily by the bad guys to get in, because we have access to quite a bit of technology resources. Personally, what I can think of is I have my personal Gmail, I have Facebook, Instagram, I have, let's see, eBay, my bank account. So all of these are subject to somehow my password getting out there. So, and a lot of times I think the mindset of a personal account or a personal thing is, oh, if they get into my Facebook, what kind of damage could they really do? If they get into my Gmail account, okay, maybe they'll read some of my emails, or like I think there's a big misconception of it's not really that bad. But when you play the tape forward, you can see kind of all the ways that they can start to do some very malicious things. They can turn your personal email account into a spam account. So that means that they'll use your email to spam all of your client or all of your contacts, as well as just random people. With the Facebook thing, I could see some pretty horrible posts going out. Not to mention they have access to my birth date. They have access to all of my family members. Um, Depending on what you post, they might know some of those security questions that you have to answer sometimes, like what was your first car, where'd you go to high school at. So in the big picture thing, when you look at all of the personal information you have out there, it really is best to go ahead and enable some form of MFA and all the things that you use. And Miss Janet, what are some of the accounts that you're using on a daily basis for business and for your personal?
Well, I have Facebook that I go to. I have I have two emails right now, which I'm going to try to get rid. I don't know how my husband explained it. I have a Gmail and a Yahoo account. So sometimes, and this is what I've seen this happen, I'll send a message to customers that I have on Gmail, and for some reason, it either doesn't go to them, or I'll send it, or it'll go to Yahoo or something, and they never hear from me, so they never got the message. So I've been having a lot of people like on my messenger say, be careful, somebody else has just asked me to friend you again. And I'm like, what? You're already friends. And I'm like, where's this coming from? So it's like my two emails are conflicting with each other. And it's like, well, am I missing messages from customers because somebody has hacked my Gmail account or something? I don't know what the deal is, but it's really messed up right now, and I can't keep it separated. So we're going to try to get rid of the Gmail and make it all Yahoo account, I think, because that's where I started when I started my business. And then I have a Mary Kay website that I go to for Mary Kay, you know, post and pictures and information and stuff like that. And I do want to try to get a personal Facebook page, but I'm not sure how to do that because I got too many messed up things on my phone. So, and I have Instagram also. I have a bunch of apps on my phone. Too many, I think.
Okay, so yeah, this sounds like, you know, you could, well, one thing you could probably benefit greatly from a password manager that will just kind of help you keep track of all the logins. And then I know so Miss Janet and I are in a business networking international group together. And so we were supposed to have a one-to-one, and then the COVID thing happened. So when we do get together, finally, I'm going to try to help you to sort out some of that that email stuff you have going on.
Yeah, yeah. And the other question I wanted to ask is, you were talking about having a code to get into. I actually put a code number to get into my phone because I find sometimes it looks like somebody has gotten into my phone without me realizing it. And I'll actually find people that I put into my phone contact gone, like not there no more. And I know I put them in. So I put a finger code, not a finger code, but a passcode with, it has to have like 6 numbers or something. And before I can get into my phone, I have to put that code in. And then I tried using a fingerprint code, but I found that difficult because it takes forever to get your fingerprint on there correctly. So I just had problems with using that. So I just don't think I could use that anymore.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, David, have you had experience with, you know, phones? Any similar problems with phones that, you know, Miss Janet is describing?
Well, one of the issues that I've seen a good bit, especially with contacts, and contacts will be added and deleted. A lot of times you connect your phone to your contacts on your phone to, say, your email or another service, and so you kind of get used to it being on your phone, and maybe you don't need it on your email account anymore, so you delete it from your email account, and you don't realize that's actually going to delete it from your phone. So with all the interconnectivities, I've and I say I've seen it because I've seen it a lot on my phone. Either I'll end up with 5 different versions of the same person, or
Right.
I'll end up with them all disappearing, and that's usually because I go somewhere and try to clean up a contact list somewhere, and that's what my phone was using to present that contact. So you really have to watch the the integrations that you have between your phone contacts and the other applications that you have. The other thing that I would say, just listening to your story there, Miss Janet, is it's always a good idea to have your well, now I forgot where I was going with that. Sorry. Oh, your email. You mentioned that you were using Gmail. Um, a lot of times it's very good to set up a separate account specifically for your business, because with your Gmails, your Yahoos, those sorts of services, they they're more prone to having issues. They're not a business level service, and so they're just more prone to having issues. They'll redirect things that maybe you don't really want them. Gmail redirects everything. It seems to me like you've got to look in 5 different boxes to know which box Gmail decided to put your email in. And so we always suggest that, especially if you're running a business, because like you said, you don't know if you've got emails that are coming in that you're missing, and you don't want to miss that as a business. So you may want to look at getting a professional, either G Suite or something like that type of email.
Okay. Jim, you'll have
Yep.
to help me figure out how to set that up.
Okay. Okay.
Have
And then
no
with the Facebook thing too, like one thing that has just been a godsend to me was as soon as about 4 years ago when I started working with Strix, they were adamant about, well, let's set up a Facebook account specifically for business. And I've loved it because I've been on Facebook since I was early 20s. So 15 years of stuff I probably don't want all of our clients seeing. So
right.
this gives me, college was a fun time, but I don't need everybody to see how much fun it was. So I love having my business and my personal Facebook, and I specifically tell my family, because about once a month they'll all try to get back in and send me a friend request to my business one, and I just have to let them know, hey, like, I keep this strictly for work. I'm not trying to mix the two. It allows me to not accidentally post something in one or the other. But like I said, it gives a really clear vision into my business life, and keeps out my personal life as well. So, Miss Janet, yeah, we'll work on that together for sure. And welcome,
I have
Carlene.
one other question.
Yes, yeah,
Hey,
go ahead, Miss
Carlene.
Janet.
For some reason, my dad and my mom decided to set up, like on Facebook, like a group of people that they know, and they sent it to us. And what happened is, one day I was sitting on the couch watching TV. Somebody called somebody in the group, and the message was going through the whole entire list of people, including me. And it's like, I didn't even know they could do that. They were like talking on a phone to everybody in that group, and I'm like, delete that. I don't need that.
Yes.
That was just weird. I didn't know they could do that.
Well, that's actually how we said happy birthday to my grandma this year, because she's in a nursing home. She can't have any visitors. So all of us called her as a group from Facebook, and she was able to see everybody, and we were able to wish her a happy birthday. But yeah, I totally feel your pain on that. Sometimes people will include me in their text message groups, and then every time someone says something like yeah or okay, I get a message. And so there's been times bing, 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 and it's like everybody just saying okay, or adding something.
It's just weird.
Yeah.
It's weird.
I agree. So Carlene, thank you for joining us.
I apologize, I'm late. I didn't realize it was Wednesday. I had a dentist appointment, but apparently they're closed. So I went to a non-existing dentist appointment this morning, and then I went shopping, and when I got home and I sat down, I'm like, what is today? And my son goes, Wednesday, and I'm like, oh, shoot, I forgot my call. So I will be listening to the beginning of this on recording, but I figured I'd hop on and still listen in.
Okay. And we'll do a quick summary again, like, you know, with the multi-factor authentication, what it's going to do is it's going to still require you to put your password in and your username. But then it's going to send a verification code or some type of message to a device that you qualify, so probably your smartphone, and you're going to have to say, okay, it's really me, or put in the code to your email account or whatever you're trying to get into, and then it'll give you access. So that's it in a nutshell. You know, but and Carlene's been an all-star. She's joined every single one that we've put on so far. So, you know, on top of your password manager, this would be the next step. So, you know, you want those passwords to be complex, but there are times when a company like Gmail or Facebook will have a data breach. That means your password's available out there. And so if they have the password, they still have access. So this just gives you a second layer of security to people getting in. It's once this is enabled, it's extremely tough for people to actually access your systems. So
I do have a question. So I had just switched over to that MyKey, and it has a section that says 2FA. That's what you guys are talking about, right?
Yes.
correct.
Okay. And David, you may know best too. Because a lot of things that I use do have that, and I always enable that, but there are things that don't have that already. What is that setting in that password manager for? Is it like, I don't understand what, you know, what the 2FA in MyKey is for.
Yeah, it will actually handle the two-factor authentication for you. So many people use maybe Microsoft Authenticator or the Google Authenticator. Duo is a popular one that's out there. Those are the applications that provide multi-factor authentication for you, and they're the application that create the code for you that you type in. So
Okay.
instead of using those applications, you can use MyKey as well. When you click on that two-factor authentication, what it's looking for is the code from the website. So if you go to let's say Office 365, you're logging in, or they may not be the best choice, but
Like a bank or something.
a bank or something, and you go to the two-factor authentication section and you turn on two-factor authentication, it's going to pop up with a QR code, and generally underneath the QR code there's a passcode, and that passcode is what MyKey is looking for. When you copy that passcode over from your online account to MyKey, it's going to connect MyKey to that online account. And so from that point on, when you log in to your bank, MyKey will fill in the password for you, and then it will also fill in that two-factor authentication code for you.
But
So you
doesn't
don't
that code change every time?
It does, and MyKey keeps up with it. So the same way that the application that's on your phone changes, you can actually watch MyKey do it. I can show you guys if you'd like.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
I like visual aids a lot. And
Yeah,
and
because I mean, I don't know like how to, I guess, set it up in MyKey, however you say it, for, you know, but a lot of them I get text messages. Is it the same thing, or is that different?
It's the same. It's a little bit different just in how they're using the how they're implementing two-factor authentication. With the text message, a lot of times there's an option to use an application instead of text message, and people go with text message because it's easy.
Right.
We were talking about that earlier. It's not the most secure way because text messaging is not the most secure option out there. The applications are much more secure. But if you watch here on my screen, you guys able to see my MyKey running here?
yes.
Okay, so this is one of the applications that we log into, and you see it's got this code 376071. So that's what you need that's the code that you need, and you'll see it's going to turn orange here shortly, and that's the code. It's beginning to get stale. After it turns orange, it's going to turn red. And again, after a little bit of time, it changes numbers. There you go. So now you
Okay.
have a new number. So that's the way that Mikey does it. It's the same as any other two-factor authentication application out there. Just Mikey keeps up with it for you, and it will pre-fill that information for you. And that's what makes it really nice, because you don't have to type anything in. Mikey's going to take care of it for you.
Okay.
And Miss Janet, it looks like we lost you for a second. Oh, there you are. But that was a little peek into the password manager that we use called MyKey, and it's MYKI. There is a personal MyKey version that is free to the public, so that would be something that would be great for you and your business, to help keep track of all of these hundreds of passwords we have to use nowadays. Were you able to see it, or did we lose you at that moment?
You lost me.
You think you pull it up one more time, David?
Yeah, give me just a second.
We'll pull it back up for you here. And Carlene, I want to be where that picture is on your wall right now. Looks nice. That
Oh
Hawaiian.
yeah.
So this is the password manager
I
that
see
we
it.
use.
Yeah.
Go ahead, David.
Yeah, this is the 6-digit code, and Mikey makes it easy. You can click here and it will copy it for you, but it will also pre-fill it if you've set up the integrations correctly. And you see it turned orange here. That means this code is about to expire, and then it turns red and says now it's really about to expire, and then it does expire and it goes to a new code. So that's what two-factor authentication is. This is something you have. It's a code that you have, or an application that you have, rather than something that you know. So the password is what you know, the code is what you have, and that creates 2 factors of authentication.
Yeah. And then this is the program that we use to keep track. I mean, we have 500 passwords we need to know. And so I was at 497. I stopped being able to remember them all. So 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 this is what helps us keep track of everything.
Yeah.
And Candace, I see you're on as well. You have such amazing questions. I was wondering if you had one.
I don't really have any today, but it was interesting because toward the beginning of the call, I was checking my email, and there is a virtual homeschool in our area that we used to be a part of for our kids, but we're no longer a part of. I'm still on their Facebook page, and the parents are getting emails from different addresses that are saying they're from the school. Apparently someone has hacked the school. So we were talking about Yahoo emails and Google emails, and I mean, just it's not even those, there's so many different places that are hackable. A poor little school that is now being used to go spam parents. It's really crazy, like how many different places they can infiltrate and get into.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys have run into it yet. I've run into it before where I've gotten an email saying, here's your code to log into your account. And I'm not trying to log into any account. So it certainly happens. Now, one thing to keep in mind, especially if you're using text message, but it can happen with the authentication apps too. A lot of criminals today, they get your let's say bank account information, your login information. They will log in and then they will call you and they'll say, hey, Miss Janet, this is US Bank. We're just calling to verify that your security is working. You should have a code on your phone right now. Can you just tell us what that code is so that we can verify your account? All sounds legitimate, right? You tell them the code, they use that code to log into your account. That's what's called a phishing scheme. So they are still trying to bypass the two-factor authentication. And that's where we hope these sessions come in handy, because you have to know that there are people out there trying to trick you. A bank is not going to ever call asking for your code that's on your phone or on your application, and you just need to know that. If anyone calls and asks for that code, either just hang up on them. That's probably best. If you're like me, you might play games with them and
No.
give them letters and stuff like that, and then they're confused, and then you can kind of play games with them sometimes, but probably not best to do that, because then
Hanging
they get
up.
mad.
Yeah, let's go with hanging up.
Hanging up, that's
I'd
probably
rather
the best approach.
My
Yeah.
my grandmother actually was a victim of the identity theft through the phone, and this is something that's really interesting because they called from the Social Security office, and she's of age to get her Social Security check. They called wanting her social, talked about her check won't go into her account, direct deposit, all these different things. Talked about her date of birth, code, all of that. Well, she believed him and gave him her information, and it was a whirlwind. They got everything because they had her date of birth and her social.
Oh my gosh.
So I spent, what, David? We spent like a month or two getting everything for every single account she had flagged. And it's just easy. That one phone call ruined everything for 2 months. Poor thing. She was, distraught. And then ever since then, anything we do with her accounts, her financials, is a pain in the rear, because now she actually does have a whole new set of codes and everything's flagged. So, like the school, like I said earlier, the school is a virtual nonprofit. There's no Parents aren't paying for this school, so it's not like whoever has hacked into their account is looking for credit card information or something of that nature. I suppose, I'm guessing, they're just using it to spam other people and use their email addresses to get out to other people so that they don't get caught. So it's not even to say they're always looking for your financial information or your personal information. They'll just use your email address and go bother other people, and then it looks like you're the one bothering people. So many different ways.
I do have a question on that then. Let's say there is an issue where, it looks like, because I've been in my emails, not the Dugan's email, but for my domain, been getting a lot of mailer demons lately, and it's not to emails I'm sending out. So, obviously something has happened. Is changing my password to my emails enough? Or, is there something else I should be doing?
Yeah, that's the first step you want to take. A lot of times when you get those mailer demons emails, a lot of times that is someone trying to use your account to send out
Right.
emails. And what that generally means is they have your username and password, and they're setting up an SMTP relay, they call it, and we don't have to get into the details of what that is, but they're basically using your email account to send out other emails. And so when those other emails fail, because they're blasting them out to thousands of people, you get the message back. So generally the first step, yes, change your password. If you see that with emails that you're not sending, go ahead and change your password. If you continue to see those emails coming through, it's possible. And again, we get back to integrations where all of these different systems, they want to integrate together because it makes it easier on you as the individual. But there are ways to, if I break into your Office 365 account, I can actually set up a service in your Office 365 account. If I have enough permissions, I can set up a service that is going to stay connected to your account, whether you change your password or not. It's a back-end connection, and so we for our clients, we periodically go in and look and see what applications are connecting to Office 365, because there are ways around not having someone's password and still staying connected to their email. But yeah, the first step is change your password. That's going to be the quickest, easiest thing to do. See if those emails stop. Hopefully they do.
That's
Okay.
actually, Carlene, how we found out about Dugan's. Is that
Right, and
I was
saw
getting
that.
all those, yeah. The large indicator for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah, there's all kinds of ways. They'll turn it into a spam bot to trick other people into putting in their user credentials. So, oh, I just got an email from David asking me what my password is to Office 365, and oh well, it's David, so I'm gonna send it to him. And
That one secret, is that what we use, David, for Dugan's?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think
That
so.
was really nifty because I hadn't even seen that one until David sent it. Is that one free, David, or is that?
Yeah, the one-time secret, onetimesecret.com, that's a free service. Yeah.
we'll put that in the chat. I'll just put that in there for everybody at one time.
Yeah, I mean,
secret.
that's something, Miss Janet, if you and your husband need to send passwords back and forth or for the business, that would be a great resource.
Yeah, and talking about the phone schemes, probably 7 or 10 years ago, I received a call from the IRS, and it was about a tax discrepancy for my 2005 tax year, and I owed $1,000. And so if I didn't pay it, there was going to be legal ramifications. And man, they had me going to the point where I went out and I bought these darn Visa gift cards to pay these people. And something
Oh, no.
something pinged in my head right then that that this wasn't right. So I stopped, hung up the phone, and sure enough, I got a phone call, and my caller ID was reading 911. And I answered, and it was the cops from my county. They didn't say which one because they didn't know, telling me that, okay, if you don't pay this IRS fee, we're going to have to come and arrest you. And it's like amazing the lengths that these people go through to make some extra cash. And it's especially hard for people who didn't grow up with technology. My grandma got a call from my little brother's number, and it wasn't him, but they were saying, Grandma, I just got in a huge car accident, and I need $7,000 right now to fix it. And
Oh my gosh.
I need you to send me $7,000. And luckily, my grandma called my mom to see if everything was okay before she did it, because they had her. I mean, the guy sounded just like my little brother. They can fake the phone numbers, so it was coming from his phone number. And just talking about some of the different ways that people get tricked. I mean, it's hard not to get tricked. They keep coming up with all these super crafty things.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's true.
do we have any more questions along the lines of multi-factor authentication? Did we paint a good picture for all of you?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And David, did you have any other topics you wanted to bring up along the lines of multi-factor authentication? And you're on mute right now.
No, I don't think so. I
Talking
think we
away.
covered it pretty well.
Okay. Well, awesome. And Miss Candace, you're out of amazing questions, I guess, for today. So we'll go ahead and wrap this session up. It's been a great one. I appreciate everybody's feedback and questions. Just to have you involved it helps us out a lot. And then what we're doing with these Chill with Jim sessions is we're actually posting them on our YouTube channel, so that way others that are busy right now can come in and check out. And hopefully, you know, they might have some of the same questions you answered or something along those lines, and they can learn as well.
We're going to be putting it on our Facebook page as well. We started that last week, so that'll make it a little easier if you guys want to go back and look at it or share it to anybody you think that a topic might be fitting for them.
All right.
Okay.
David, it looked like you had something there. No? Okay. Next week, what we're doing is we're actually having a special guest, Kyle Palmer, and he's from a local pharmacy called Parker's Pharmacy. That's right here in Baton Rouge, about 2 miles from my house. They opened up business about 3 years ago, and they just do a phenomenal job with community outreach and helping out the local communities. So we're bringing him on as a special guest to go over, you know, ways to effectively help your community, and also to go into depth about like what are the best marketing strategies for your local community. What's a good way to get them involved? How do you keep your locals coming back to you? How do you set your business apart? We're going to go over all of this, and he's a very intelligent guy, so it's going to be a great one.
They're amazing marketers.
Yeah, they've done a phenomenal job creating this family feel to their business and helping out the community. They've done a community crawfish boil and just all kinds of fun things that, like, oh, you know, when we see it, it's like,
How did I miss that? I just want to know where my invite was. I didn't get that one.
That was in there. That was early, and so I switched.
I need another one.
Yeah, I switched all my prescriptions over to them. I think the week that they opened, we actually met them at a networking event, and so I switched over to them. So I've been a customer since they've opened, and like I said, they just do a great job. And so some of this Chill with Jim session next week will probably be all three of us at Strix taking heavy notes on how we can do the same thing. So join me next week, the same chill time, same chill channel. And we appreciate everybody coming out. We'll go ahead if you
One last thing. Okay. Yeah, one last thing, an exciting thing. So part of why we are doing all these chill episodes is to give, you know, back to the community. Like I said in our Facebook Live last week, if you caught it, we started it because of COVID to try to help people while they were at home, and it kind of expanded huge. Everybody loved it. So we're always looking for more topics, trying to get more in touch with people. So we are going to start giving away a gift card 1 to 2 times a month to people that join us and tune in. We're going to start a referral program as well. So if you get people to come and join us, we're going to have gifts and gift cards and giveaways for that too. Our first giveaway, because we're still working on our giveaway list, the first one that kind of came to mind really quick is for perfect attendance. So Miss Carlene gets a $25 gift card to Starbucks. I hope you like coffee.
I like tea, so I'm good.
So that's our first giveaway.
Yay!
So y'all keep tuning in and bring your people, and we are going to come up with some other cool ideas to give back to y'all for joining, because we really appreciate the support.
Candace, I've also had perfect attendance. So...
I gave you a paycheck. We're done. Okay, good. Yay.
Okay. All right.
I did payroll this morning. You're paid.
I guess I'll be sure to go drop funny. 25 at Starbucks then. So, on the Strix paycheck.
There you go.
Awesome.
That's funny.
Thank you, Miss Janet, Carlene. We really appreciate it. And we will see you next week.
Bye, ladies. Thank y'all for joining us.
Sounds good.
I enjoyed it. Thank you, David.
Bye,
Thank
everybody.
You, nice
Thank
meeting
you.
Carlene.
Nice meeting you. Bye-bye. Here's my 7-year-old.
Bye, Carlene, 7-year-old.
Later.
Bye, Candace. It was nice meeting you.
Bye. You too, Miss Janet. You take care.